As a young Burundian like you know, I don't know, how do you go to Australia, to Germany, to Netherlands, and to New York, and go there and come back to Burundi?
When you go back some 10 years or 15 years, this time was supposed to be rainy season. But now you see it's not raining. Why? We have to understand that's what they call global warming.
Is there anything alarming that Burundians can do about
Absolutely.
that?
The situation is alarming in Burundi. The project which has been known called Ewe Burundu Rambai. That is one of the projects that Burundi is implementing. So is that people do follow others. They see Alex now has a setback, and then okay, I have to do like Alex. Doing like Alex is not a mistake. Make sure, do you really have that vision, that passion of doing that? My name is Avit Ndayiziga. I'm a journalist. For now, I'm working with a blog called The Community Voice, which works right here in Burundi. We actually write about many subjects, but we only focus on business, health, and climate change. When we talk about climate change, you understand that we talk also about water, energy, agriculture, and things like that.
Can you tell us more about that, how you got started with the writing?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I actually started back in 2017. That's where I started my career as a journalist. It was at Radio Culture. Nowadays it is called the Radio Indundi Culture. That's where I started. I remember it was not easy. And they may even take this opportunity to thank Mr. Adenova. He's the first person who took my hand, and I went with him to the radio, and he's the one who gave me the microphone, start talking on the radio, on air. It was really fantastic. I could not forget that day, because seeing yourself on the radio was really very nice, wonderful. I could not think I was myself. You see, when you start something you've been dreaming of. But my career actually started back when I was still young. I remember I used to listen to the radio, and then I was really inspired how journalists talk, what they talk about, different subjects they tackled during that time, 2022. That's how I decided to quit radio to start my writing career. That's where now I am. Well, starting my writing career started with another regional media outlet called Info9, because they contacted me. They asked me if I can write stories about water issues in Burundi, and then that's how I started writing down English, because for them they needed articles. They did not want audio issues like that. They said you have to write down the stories, and then they are even the people who taught me how to write stories in English.
Why don't you write on anything else but climate change? Well,
that's a nice question, because now the climate change now is a world crisis, you see, which means we have to write about it, because we need to inform people what is happening. But for Burundians, maybe they do not easily understand what is climate change, but now they see that rain patterns have changed in Burundi. We are in September, almost at the end. When you go back some 10 years or 15 years, this time was supposed to be rainy season. But now you see it's not raining. Why? We need to understand what have changed, what caused this change. Now that's why I got interested in climate change. But apart from that, I did some training myself to understand it before writing about it, because I was trained by Oxford Climate Change Journalism Department. It was online training for 6 months, and then I got that understanding of what is climate change, how to write about it, what you need to know about it, and then I continued like that. Yeah, that's even what got me to COP28 in Dubai to cover it, because I had that background.
All right, we're gonna get back on that.
Thank you.
Practically, I would like to know, to and everybody who is watching this, what can they do about climate change? Maybe the person who is in the countryside, even in the urban regions.
Practically, now we have to understand what caused the climate change. There are
what are the causes, by the way?
Yeah, there are some things over there. We have to understand that's what they call global warming. How now, due to what they call carbon dioxide, now the earth is hotter than it used to be hot.
Okay.
That's what causes change. Now when you talk personally on the side of Burundi, it's almost 86% are farmers. They have to deforest looking for farming land. You see? That's how we start declining. We started depleting the trees, and then now the earth, it is like empty or nude. You see that it will not attract the rain as it used to do. Now we have to go back in geography where they were teaching us how the rain cycle. You see, when there is no trees, we are unlikely to get rain.
Sure.
That's what happened about Burundi. So now what we have to do, we as Burundians, Burundi has what we call NDC. That's nationally determined contributions. That's each and every country, what they call parties, that signed what they call Paris Agreement. Each and every country has what the country has decided to do
about climate change,
in the mitigation and adaptation. Burundi has it. When you read about it, you will find a project which has been known called Ewe Burundu Rambai. That is one of the projects that Burundi is implementing in fighting against climate change.
Okay.
Now we have to look back if the project has been successful or not. That's maybe another topic. Another project which now you must know is this. You see now Burundi is building many hydropower plants over the country. When you read the NDC, it says that from in 2030, Burundi must stop using charcoals when cooking and use electricity. That's another big plan that Burundi has.
By 2030?
Yes.
Okay.
From now we have 6 years. And then you see so many hydropower plants are being built. I think we'll be able to reach there. Or if we are not there like 100%, maybe 60% or 80%. But now even you see that there is a change in how the energy supply is in the country. That's a way of reading people to start using energy when cooking, not charcoals. I mean, cutting down trees like that. Sure. There are all those projects. But on the other side, you also can start, I mean, planting some trees. Yeah, because you know you need fresh air.
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I think most of the time when we hear of climate change or fighting climate change, change of the seasons and everything, maybe most of the time we hear of planting trees and what. Is there anything, not only planting trees, to fight climate change?
There are so many projects, so there are so many things which can be done to fight against climate change. Because like
for example, we see
now we have this, it's a plastic bottle, and you know, once you throw on this plastic bottle, it will not let water drink in the earth. And then once like this, it is a plastic.
Sure.
Under all insects will die.
Okay.
Then when removing or recycling plastic bottles or any kind of plastics,
it's a kind of
that's a kind of
fighting climate change
and earth pollution.
Sure.
All those, there are so many causes of climate change, which means even the fighting against climate change requires many solutions. No only one solution can be efficient.
There must be a combination of
many combinations. Sure. There are so many projects going on right in the country, from the government, from other young people, from other various NGOs who are there working on fighting against climate change. And also, you know, it is not something they can achieve within one day, because it took many years to get to where we are.
Sure.
Which means we need to invest many years to get back where we used to be.
Okay. Right. I think you're somebody who travels a lot in the country.
Yeah.
And you see the mountains of Burundi. Yeah. Looking at how Burundi lies, is there anything alarming that Burundians can do about
Absolutely.
that?
Absolutely. The situation is alarming in Burundi, because even recently, last week, I don't know if they have been able to stop it. You heard that the mountain here was on fire.
Sure.
That's wildfire. And this is one of the causes that have caused climate change in Burundi. I remember some years back when we were still young, I mean, putting the fire on a mountain was like a hobby. But later on we came up to understand that it was a huge mistake we were committing. Sure. Which means now when you look at the landscape of Burundi, it's green but somehow nude, because there are no long trees as they used to be.
That's true.
That's what even what as I said caused the rain patterns to change. And it's a huge issue because now it contributes even in the like food insecurity, because Burundians, especially farmers, are no longer harvest as they used, because the rain is not raining as they used to rain, and it is a challenge for that.
How is Lake Tanganyika affected by that?
Plastics.
When
you look at the Lake Tanganyika Lake shore and the coastal region, no more fishes because the plastic are choking the Lake Tanganyika as a coastal. That's a big issue for sure. And but since I said there are so many now companies working on recycling plastic bags, some are making tires, some are making some other issues. There is that kind of movement, that kind of raising awareness about it. Maybe within some years we see a positive change. As
a writer or journalist writing on that in climate change, is that easy to write on that, or what are the challenges that you encounter when maybe in terms of collecting data, or what can you tell us the challenges that you encounter?
Absolutely. When you mentioned a nice point of correcting data. Now today, if you need data about plastic use in Burundi, you will not find them. Because I don't know if we have maybe a company or the government, we have an institute for statistics, if they have been able to collect data about the plastics, that will be a hindrance about it. Sometimes we rely on data that have been collected some years ago. Many years ago. Yes. For us now we call it inaccurate data, because they do not reflect
what is happening today.
That's the problem. But that's how it is. Sometimes you have to rely, and we just try to do what you can call like estimation. So you just try to think, maybe if 10 years ago it was this, let me multiply maybe by 10 years and just try to say in estimation it's like that. That's the main challenge. Sometimes another issue is that you not get experts who are really experienced about that, who can be able to tell you more about plastic issues. You have to rely on some professors from the university, and they are hard to get as well, because you have to wait for them maybe 1 week or 2 weeks, why not 2 months, like that. That's the challenges we meet. But when you have that commitment, you start today, okay, I will keep on looking for him till I get that person I'm looking, that expert I'm looking for.
Okay, I think the climate change is the public issue. That's for the countries. And is there any call to the government, the government officials who may be listening to this, any call about collecting data? Because we cannot verify that if you do not have accurate and up-to-date data. Is there any call?
Well, for the government, now as I said, they have that document, which is the NDC, the Nationally Determined Contributions, what Burundi have agreed to accomplish for fighting against climate change. They have it.
Paris?
They have it. That document, it is there, and it is public. You can go and read it. Now they are working on it. The issue of data, we are working on it, and then once maybe they get them, they will publish them, and they will be able to use them. For the government, I know they are doing what they are supposed to do. Slowly but surely.
All right.
Let me say.
Good. That was Burundi. You've been traveling.
Sure.
So you're traveling in different countries in Europe, Australia. Probably in the US. Can you just tell us the experience that you got from traveling in those countries, and maybe how it opened up your eyes in terms of growth?
Yeah, I remember I've been traveling for sure, Africa, Australia, Europe, and the US recently. What I came to learn is that when you are a journalist, you actually have a huge task of informing the public.
Sure.
So your task is not easy at all, especially for some countries whereby you find that there is no enough resources for equipping journalists with relevant skills about reporting. Yes, that's what I came to realize, that when you are working as a journalist right in Burundi, when you travel and you meet other journalists from other countries,
other professionals,
you will see there is a huge difference in the way you do what you do and how they do it, which means you will have to learn to relearn what you have learned before and need to make it accurate. Well, I remember my first time when I went to cover the International AIDS Conference in Australia. Myself, upon coming back, upon returning, and I look back what I did, I saw that I misreported the conference because the lack of enough skills for that. Yeah, that's what I saw, and it opened my eyes. When you go through what others have done, you read their stories, and you compare yours, you see that you've been misreporting the issue, which means traveling has helped me understand what is true journalism. When we talk about a story, what is really a story? What are the key elements we have to add in a story?
That make a story.
That make a story. When should I know that my story has been well done? Yes, key elements you have to look upon. Yeah, sometimes you can report on a story, and then when you don't know it, some people know this. In this story, there is a missing voice. There is a voice which was supposed to be included, but it's not.
But it's not there.
Yeah. That's what actually I learned a lot, and about even writing. Since sometimes, many times I write in English, and English is not my first language.
Sure.
I have to take enough time, read what I have written down to see if vocabulary items I used are accurate, and there are those which must be used in that specific field. That's which means a journalist always is learning daily. On a daily basis, you have to learn new vocabulary items, new ways of writing down stories. That's how it must be. That's what I learned a lot from all the trips I have made. But all different trips I have made were not having the same objective.
You
because
can just
in Australia, I was covering the International AIDS Conference. But in Netherlands, I was doing a training. I was doing a training on public interest journalism, which is all about doing stories that impact people's lives. I think now there are some undergoing stories I'm working, following that training I got in Netherlands. And recently in Germany, I was also covering the International AIDS Conference. And in the US, I was following another training on the nexus of climate change.
That was in New York.
Yeah, and the mental health. How does climate change affect mental health? For you to easily understand what it means, let's take a simple example. You see, now you have lost your house. You have lost your livestock. Yeah, the house, you know how it is very hard in Burundi to build the house, and the rain rains, the flood came in and they destroyed your house, your everything. You even lost one of your beloved. Do you think this person does not feel any kind of depression?
Sure.
If it is, that's like this depression originated or stemmed from what? Climate change. That's what we're just learning, how to report on some stories like that. And in the most of the time, those are called underreported stories because they are not like visible. If you are not going digging them there, you will not find there, because sometimes, you know, Burundians, we tend to say, I'm good, it's okay, yeah, but you know, inside you are burning.
As a young Burundian like you know, I don't know, it's just I was curious to know about that. How do you go to Australia, to Germany, to Netherlands, and to New York, and go there and come back to Burundi?
Once you have your clear vision, you have your clear path you are following, you are likely to attract even resources not only from Burundi, from outside the world. For me, going there, I was going on a mission. For example, in Australia, as I said, I was invited to go and cover the international AIDS conference.
And then come back.
I am a journalist. That's my career. It means what? If today I go in the US and stay there, it will not be easy to join or to enter the media industry of US. First of all, that's illegal immigration.
Sure.
I will not be having papers or legal documents allowing me to stay, live, and work there. It will take me like more than, I don't know, 5 or 10 years. I mean, hiding myself under bridges to survive. That's what I cannot do that. What do you really want in your life? Because sometimes what I saw is that people do follow others.
Sure.
They see Alex now has a setback, and then, okay, I have to do like Alex. Doing like Alex is not a mistake. Make sure, do you really have that vision, that passion of doing that? Because it requires a lot of energy.
Sure.
Once you are not really driven from inside, you will not achieve it.
That's interesting.
That's what is the problem.
That's interesting. That's a good point. So, okay, we are coming to the end of our show. But I would like you to tell us, because you've been there, you've been to other countries, European countries and American countries. Can you just tell us the climate change as a global issue?
Well, actually, when you look at devastating effects of climate change, truly speaking, they affect what they call the global south. When they say the global south, those are developing countries. When you look, even their external look, you see some quarters. Let's take Buyenzi, Bwiza, Jabe. No trees there. Those cities, you say they are not green. You look even in Ngagara, Kamenge.
No trees there.
No trees there. Sure. It means, as the government have been saying, I think people even in Bujumbura should start
planting trees
nearby their houses.
In the neighborhoods
this can help. And for the government, I think they could make it like a law. That's why you understand that always during the climate change negotiations, they negotiate between rich countries and the developing countries, because developing countries or the global south say that rich countries, through industrialization, they have been emitting those gases that have destroyed the layer zone, you see? And then that has caused the global warming. And developing countries are the ones suffering. Why do they suffer? It is because themselves did not prepare themselves for that. Because for European countries, they have managed themselves to know how to protect themselves from all those effects. They are not affected as developing countries. A country like Netherlands, why do you think they call it Pays-Bas in French? It is a country which is in a valley, like a valley. There are so many small rivers going through the city. You imagine why the Netherlands has never been flooded. It is because they have been able to manage all those small rivers going through the city to the point that they cannot flood their houses. That's what the strategies they have used. And when you ask that for developing countries, it requires a lot of money that developing countries cannot afford. That's the reason why developing countries always tell rich countries to fund their projects on mitigation and adaptation.
Thank you so much, Mr. Avit, for coming. Personally, I've been touched by your insights.
Thank you for hosting me as well, and I'm available anytime. This maybe I have what to share with the world.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
It has been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And see you next time.
All right.